I'll tilt the screen down when I'm done. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Amanda, director here at the Senior Center in Milford, Connecticut. We have a rainy morning this morning, but you are tuning in to do some yoga and get your week off to a great start with Miss D. Remember to have the space that you're exercising in, not have anything that you could trip over or bump into. Also, make sure that you hydrate, you're wearing comfortable clothes, and if you have any questions about your exercise that you should or shouldn't be doing, please consult a medical provider. Thanks a lot and have a lovely class.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Good morning, yogis. Welcome, welcome. You know, during these times, we try to spend as much time as we can outdoors. That you've been enjoying sunrises or sunsets, but I want to also point out the moon has many powers, as you know. It coordinates the rhythm of the tides, and oftentimes we've heard that some women that are in labor and are a little late to have their babies, when the full moon happens, the baby comes. So these are all things that are attributed to the moon. But in yoga, we find that the inherent rhythms, those calming rhythms of the moon, but help us to find our inherent wisdom and truth within ourselves. Remember, the moon is calming, very calming. So let's begin with that. Let's begin and focus. Sit tall on your chairs or on the mat. Align your spine to the tallest height. Turn your palms to face upward. Close your eyes. Taking just a few moments to allow the body to settle, become still, and the mind to become calm and focused. And then take your full attention to your breath and leaving your long exhalation. Don't force it, don't rush. Setting the pace for this morning's class. Thinking of your intention for today. And on the next inhalation, breathe in deeply. Breathing out, lower your chin gently to your chest. Slowly open your eyes and lift your gaze. And so we're going to start, because I'm in the room by myself and you're probably in a room by yourself. We're going to start with a little lion pose. Normally we wouldn't do this because of the long exhalation, but we're just exhaling around ourselves. And so I'm going to slide forward in the seat of the chair a little bit, planting my feet firmly down, lengthening up through my torso, planting my hands on my knees. I'm spreading my paws, spreading my fingers. Taking a full deep breath in, I open my mouth wide, my eyes wide, look up toward the third eye. I stick my tongue out as far as I can, and I exhale strongly and loudly. Relaxing the jaw, I retract the tongue. I feel that wonderful stretch through my jaw, my neck, my facial muscles. And let's repeat that again. Deep breath in, eyes wide, mouth wide. And gently relax. Now, a little massage for our face. I'm going to wiggle my fingers. I'm going to lighten the cap around the jaw and the forehead. And release your hands. Now, we're just going to lower our chin to our chest, draw your shoulders back, don't let the shoulders roll forward, just the head drops down, jaw relax, and then gently look upward, take your time, don't drop your head in your neck into your shoulders, lengthen through your throat, jaw soft, teeth parted, Exhale and lower your chin to your chest. And inhale and lift up. And exhale, chin to chest. And inhale, lift your head. Come back to neutral or center. Now let's find out how stiff we are this morning in our neck area. And so I want you to just turn your head to the right very slowly until you feel a little resistance. And don't go back. And then look to the floor or look to the wall. Remember the spot or what you're looking at. And turn your head back to center. Let's do the same thing to the other side. So again, tall spine, just your head is turning. And once you feel the resistance, don't go beyond it. Look at the wall, look at the floor, remember that spot. Come back to center. Now, we're going to release any stiffness or tightness just by taking this arm across, holding onto the upper arm, and just gently moving that shoulder. Just gentle movement. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So that arm's going to come across. Remember, upper arm above the elbow. Gentle movement. The shoulder and the arm. And back to center. Rest the hands lightly on the knees. Tall spine, deep breath in. On the exhalation, turning to your right. Maybe you've gone to that spot and maybe you're going well beyond it. Come back to center. Did you go beyond it? I did. Do the same slowly. Here's my spot, but I'm continuing and see how easy that is. Just simple movement, simple stretching. Very nice. Let's start to move the torso. So I'm going to take a side stretch. I'm going to firmly hold onto the seat of the chair. My free arm's going to come up over my head. Now I'm moving my torso, not the arm and the shoulder, but my torso. I don't have to go too far. Again, I go to that point where I feel it. Just relax. I don't drop the head. I just let the head soften. Jaw soft. Part your lips, part your teeth. Feel that wonderful lengthening through the rib cage. We're not in any hurry today. No rush. It's an inside day with the rain coming. To release, I'm using my torso, so I'm using my core for lifting with the whole body back to center and lowering the arm down. Now let's go to the opposite side. The arm comes up. Remember, torso move. Torso move. Again, and just go to that point where you feel your edge. Don't go beyond. Modify if you need to. If the arm or the shoulder is bothering you and you can't take it over your head, it's a lateral stretch for the torso. Drop the head or neck. Stretch. I'm lengthening and deepening my breath. By lengthening your breath, you increase the stretch in your body. Now coming out, remember the whole torso. Lift with the whole torso coming up and back to center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the nose. Calm. Now let's take a twist this morning. So I'm just going to raise my arms into the air. I love to spread my fingers to stretch the palms of my hands. I'm going to my right and my your left. So I'm coming over. Opposite hand to opposite knee, tall spine. I'm draping the hand behind the chair since I'm seated in the chair. And that helps keep my shoulders level. If you're working on the mat, the hand comes down behind the hip. I'm going to start to remember, starting from the navel, remember to turn the torso. I'm not in any hurry. Last mover, of course, is the head. Because we did warm up that neck, we can go even further with the head this morning. Let's take about 3 deep breaths in this twist. 3 deep breaths. And release. Wow. I can feel the difference comparing that side to the other. So let's even it out. Deep breath in. I'm pressing my feet to the earth. My sit bones are pressing down to stabilize my torso. Upper body starts to turn. Hand to the back of the chair. Front arm to opposite knee. Again, I'm not in any hurry. Rotating from navel and waist and ribs and shoulder and then the head. Three deep breaths. And release back to center. How does that feel? I think it feels pretty good. So just to work the legs a little bit this morning. So you can stay at the front edge of the chair, and I want you to just extend one leg forward. Now the thigh is just slightly off of the chair because I want you to feel that thigh active, become active. I'm going to flex the foot, push strongly through the heel. Don't push so much that you cramp the leg. Keep the spine tall. If it's difficult, then you can even slide to the back edge of the chair, and that will help you support the leg a little bit if you cannot lift it off of the chair. If you are on the mat, just extend the leg straight forward and maybe lift it an inch or two. Fall spine, hands by the hips to support the spine. Take some breath. Remember, you don't want to grip with the leg. You want to activate the muscle. And relax that leg down. Feels different. This leg is enlivened. This leg is dull, so let's balance it out. Lift it, straighten the knee. Maybe take it off of the chair, maybe not. Fall spine, hands beside the hips. Remember breathing. I'm sending the breath from the hip to the heel. Foot is flexed, toes are spread. Yes, 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 yes. Feels great. And release. Yay. Let's just come forward. I'm going to plant my forearms on my thighs. I'm just going to arch my spine forward. Just lifting. And then I'm just going to drop my chin to my chest. Roll my head looking over the right shoulder at maybe your left. Chin rolls to the chest, over to the opposite side. Roll the chin to the chest. Plant the hands on the knees and rise back up. Good. So let's come into hands and knees if you're working on your mat, or hands on the chair, feet on the floor for our table position. Move the chair over to the side so it's easier for you to see. Remember, spread those fingers, plant the hands down, step the feet back just slightly. I want the spine nice and long. Feet are hip width apart. Plant those feet strongly down. I ease the knees, so it's much easier to move the torso. If your knees are stiff, it's hard to move the torso. Knees are soft. Okay? Cat and cow pose this morning. Love that pose. So I'm resisting with my hands, my feet. If you're kneeling, it's your shins and knees. I'm exhaling. I'm arching my spine and dropping my head. Exhale that breath. Squeeze your belly button to the sky. Squeeze it up. Now as you inhale, drop your belly. Drop your ribs. Press your chest forward. Lift your tailbone. Look forward. Lift your head. Inhale. And then exhale. And continue going at your rhythm. Maybe you need a little extra more of the cat and cow to get that spine moving this morning. Every day is different, believe me. Every day is different. Now we're going to make a little figure 8 with our spine. So I'm going to start with my cow pose, and that's my belly drop, my chest forward, my head up, my shoulders back. And then I'm going to push my torso to the side, and as I do, I round. And then I come back to center, and then I go back into cow pose, and I drift my torso to the other side and round it. So I'm making my figure 8 like it's on its side, and I'm moving side to side, drawing that figure 8 with my torso. That's going to warm up that spine. Face. Let's come to a little child's pose. Remember, if you are on your mat, knees are wide, toes together. I like it. It just opens the hips. Gliding your hips to your heels, stacking your forearms, forehead resting calmly on your hands. And your back body, your spine, the back of your spine is just melting to the earth. The earth is welcoming your body. That is welcoming you down. If we are using the chair, remember you're sitting at the front edge of the chair, coming forward, bringing your chest towards your thigh. Remember, head above your heart if you wish. Stacking forearms, forehead towards the forearm, or gripping under your legs, chest to your thighs, and head hangs freely. Let's come back to hands and knees, all fours or standing, hands on chairs, feet on mat, little all fours position. Now, I'm going to bend my right knee, lift that leg up into the air, hydrant pose. The leg is a little hip opener, leg comes out to the side, chin is parallel. Bring them together and lift, together, lift, together, lift, extend, plant that foot, bend the knee of the opposite leg. We're going to come into gate pose. So I'm rising up, arms out, tilting towards that leg. Gate pose. So if you are here, see it this way, here, here, or here, here, up. In the chair, if you want to do it seated in your chair, here, here, you're here, you're here, you're here. Okay. Back up. We're coming back to all fours again. So once more, and back into our table position. These are soft. Comes our hydrant, opening and closing. Then plant down. You want to stay seated. Open, extend, plant down. If you are in all fours position, hands and knees on the mat, release, back to hands and knees position, back to all fours and back to child's pose. Go back into your child's pose. Connect with your breathing. And back to tabletop position. All fours on the mat or with the chair. Coming into downward facing dog. I love this stretch. I love to do this stretch every morning. Every morning. Working with the chair, arms distance, don't cheat, elbows need to be straight. Get that torso stretching back. I ease those knees. I lift the sit bones higher. I externally roll my shoulders, opening my chest. Don't roll them in. In other words, you don't want the shoulders to come in. You want the shoulders to come out so that the chest is open. Chest pressing towards the thighs and head totally relaxed. There we go. Straightening one knee and then the other. A little doggy walk. All good. Now we're going to come into plank pose to build upper body strength. So I'm just going to rise up onto my tippy toes, come forward. Maybe I'll just stay here. Maybe I'll come here. Now I want to firm my thighs, firm my abdomen. Don't sink into your shoulders. Keep that chest lifted. Use your core. Nice little stretch. If you are working on the mat, you can come forward. You can keep your knees on the floor. You do not have to come into full plank pose. Either or is fine. And then release. And we're going to walk to our hands and rise up to stand. So come right up to your mountain pose, standing firmly down, taking a few deep breaths in and out. Few breaths in and out. Planting our feet. Let's work our arms and shoulders. So I want you to reach forward with both arms, reach over your head, press them back and down. Repeat that. Little arm rolls. It's almost like a full body stretch in the morning. Easy. Feels good. And we're just going to reverse it. Back. Notice as I go back, the palms are facing forward, and then as I come down, the palms are pressing down. So rotate the shoulders, lift up. Not in any hurry this morning. Right. So we're going to come into a little warrior two pose. And if you find that you need to stay seated this morning, that's fine. So you can stay in your mat. You can extend leg out to the side, opening the hip. Opposite leg extends back, coming into warrior two. That's one position. If you are standing, open the feet, rotate that side out 90 degrees, foot slides in, knee soften, warrior two. Torso is lifted, Arms are extended. There's energy under the arms. Breathing strongly down the length of that front arm. And then just reversing for an easy little back bend. Remember, just go to the point where you feel your edge. Don't go beyond it. Now let's transition to triangle. That means both legs are straight. And then the upper torso slides away from the lower torso. And all you do is change the position of your arms. You don't collapse down to try and get way down to the earth or to a block. Just change position of your arms. That's perfect, especially in the morning. Yeah. So I'm just opening my heart, reaching upward, coming back up, bring my feet in, and back to mountain pose. A few resting breaths. And in your mind, get ready to reverse, going off to the other side. If you decide you want to stay seated in that chair this morning, you just modify that. Those arms up. Gaze majestically down the length of that front arm. There's no tension in the shoulders, in the back. Chest is open. Lungs are clear to breathe deeply. Ribs expanded. Setting the tone for your day. Reversing. Back bending always does good. That's a little energy for you. And then up. Straightening both legs. In the chair, you don't have to straighten that front leg, but you can come into your triangle. Love to feel my breath. Mind and breath are connected. Rise back up. Come forward, either standing into Tadasana or seated Tadasana. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Now this morning I started by talking about the moon and how the moon is calming. And the moon is, Chandra is the moon. It's also the feminine side of us. Feminine. So we're going to come into a moon salutation. We're going to honor that moon within us. So we're starting in Tadasana, our mountain pose. Planting your feet firmly down, arranging our torso, our posture, growing roots to the earth, four corners of the feet pressing down, reaching the head skyward up to the moon. Take a moment to just close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes, find that inner calm. That inner voice. Now, imagine if you did see the moon, and I hope you did, Saturday or Sunday, visualize that moon. Visualize the moon in your mouth, like a little moon lozenge, a little moon lozenge. And as that full moon rises, feel it or see it or imagine it rising to the roof of your mouth, continuing to rise upward and filling your entire brain, your entire guru chakra, right up to the top, enlightening. Feel that rhythm within you. Finding your inherent wisdom and your true self. Now open your eyes and we'll begin the vinyasa. Sweep the arms around, big circle. Arms come over your head, interlace your fingers, release the index finger, all spine, drawing right up through the middle of your body, lengthening. We're going to come up first to the right side. stretch. Remember the torso moves, not just the arms and the shoulders. Maybe the hips are pressing us out, squeezing those inner thighs, reaching from the soles of the feet right up through the torso and through the fingertips. Come back to center, reaching up, taking a breath in. And then when you're ready to relax and exhale, go to the other side for that lateral stretch. Remember, it's the torso. Remember how we move the torso? Move from your center, move from your core. Wonderful stretch. And rising back up. And stepping out to the side. Coming into temple pose. Inner thighs moving back, torso lifted, arms up, temple pose. Straightening the legs, extending out into 5-pointed star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-pointed star. Heel moves out. I'm ready to come into my triangle. Opening, sliding across that little shelf. Triangle. Yes. Rising up. Now I'm actually turning my entire torso so that, watch that back heel. It has to slide back to bring that hip around. Hands are on my hips, headlights looking forward, gazing over that cliff. Coming into a little bit of a lunge, just a little lunge. Now I'm going to sweep through center, bent, and over to the other side. Notice how I turn this leg out. This back leg in, over to the center, into my lunge. And then I straighten both legs. When I get my headlights moving forward, I look over that cliff. I come back to center and back into my 5-pointed star, into my temple pose, stepping my feet together, sweeping the arms around and over the head, interlace, release the index finger, lateral to the right first, remember. Center, lateral to the other side, and center, and hands to namaste. So remember, we're starting from that little sliver, and then opening into that big full moon and coming back up again. Now we're going to do the same thing. So we have going through the phases of the moon, like the whole entire moon. And so again, from Tadasana, imagining that moon, the light moving upward, just like the moon rises, arms over your head, inhale, interlace fingers, release the index finger, squeeze those inner thighs, lengthen up through the torso. The shoulders relax, don't hunch. This time we're going to the left side first. Use your torso and come up, over to the right. Center, release into our temple pose. Thighs turned out, knees turned out. Don't let your booty go behind you, straight down. 5-pointed star. Triangle to the left first. I turn that leg out. Remember, back leg has to slide inward. Gliding, torso, triangle. Continuing to turn towards the side. Remember, back heel, slide it back, hip comes forward, hands to the hips, shoulders back, looking over that little cliff. Coming into a full lunge. Coming through center. Straightening the leg, sliding that heel back to adjust the headlights. gazing over that cliff. Use your breath. Push down, rise up. Back into our 5-pointed star. Dropping down, knees bent. Temple pose. Stepping your feet together, arms over your head, interlace, release the index finger to your left first for your lateral stretch. Under that little sliver of a moon. Up, right, up, and namaste. Back to Tadasana. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more round for the folks that like to get to the floor. So one more round just to show you how that works. You go a little deeper. So deep breath in, sweep the arms, interlace, release the index finger. Remember our lateral stretch first to one side, and then to the other. Back to center, hands down, opening out into our little temple pose. 5-pointed star, heels out, toes in. Coming into our triangle. Rising back up. Shaking the back leg, looking over that cliff. Now if you're working on the mat, you can go all the way down to a deep lunge on the mat. Deep, deep lunge. And as you come through center, you're going to bend this knee, straighten this leg, shift here, come over here, walk around into your lunge. Your forward bend, you'll be on the mat. Coming up, triangle. Rising up, 5-pointed star, temple pose, stepping your feet, lateral stretch, deep breath in. And hands through namaste and back to And so as you do that, visualize again. You go from the waning moon to the full moon to the waxing moon, just the phases of the moon. Just realize that the movement calms the body, full circle, calming the body. Very nice. So let's continue with this little lunge. If you are using your chair, bring it forward. If you're on the mat, come to hands and knees, or come to table position using the chair. And I'm going to step my outside leg, which is my left leg, forward. Remember, I bring the shin right up to the chair, so that way I don't over lunge and extend that knee way beyond the toes. Back leg, I'm just going to slide a little bit further back, just to get a little more length to my torso. If you're on the mat, you're just stepping the left leg. Keep the hands down, keep the chest lifted. I'm going to open into a little twist. So the arm, right arm comes to the hip, and reach up. Lower that hand down, and step your feet back into a little plank pose. Forward. Firm the entire body. Back into downward facing dog. Now, If you can lunge, if you're in downward dog on the mat, and you can lunge forward with your right leg, do so. And if you need to lower your knees to the mat so that you can step your right leg forward, do so. I'm just going to step my right leg up to the chair. Remember, shin presses against the chair, back leg is extended. That right hand down, open, left hand to the hip. Hold the hands. Step the feet together for a little plank pose. Remember, if you're on the mat, it doesn't have a downward dog, first. And then into plank pose. Remember, if you're on the mat, knees can be stay on the floor coming into your plank pose. Either or. Good. And then come up to child's pose. On the mat. And sit tall. Now we can do a little variation of a seated sun salutation. This is just a short variation, very short variation, for if you're just sitting and you cannot do these standing poses. If you're just sitting. And you can do this either sitting in a chair or sitting on the mat. And we're just going to start by the legs are extended in front, Dandasana. So I'm going to prop myself on my heels. Because I'm on the chair, my knees are bent. But if you're on the mat, the knees are straight. Give a little flexion. Bring the hands to Namaste. So we're ready. We're going to visualize again that moon in our mouth, our lozenge moon. And it's slowly rising to the roof and rising up, filling our brain, our guru chakra. And raise the arms over your head, a little bit of a back bend to open, and then fold forward over those legs. Knees can be straight or knees can be flexed. So we're in that little forward bend and relax your head. Now sit up, legs straight, coming into our little boat pose. So I'm just going to lift the legs a little bit. Remember, I'm not cheating and leaning my spine against the back of the chair. If you're on the mat, you're going to come into our cobbler's pose. In the chair, I open feet and knees as well, into a little forward bend. And rising back up. Come back to the beginning position. So again, we're in straight legs, legs together, knees straight, Dandasana, hands to your heart. Lift up, pull backward bending, inhale. Exhale, glide forward over those legs. Roll back up, we're coming into our boat pose. And back to Dandasana. Repeat. Inhale. Exhale, fold, fold. Boat pose. Cobbler's pose. Stick pose. Once more. Reach up. Fold forward. Rounded back, roll up. Boat pose. Cobbler's pose. Rounded spine, roll back up. Stick pose. Very nice. That's a simple version, a shorter version of just a seated sun salutation. And salutations are to warm up the body. Moon salutation, do it slowly to calm the body, calm the mind, just like nighttime is calmer, it's quieter, same thing. So let's take an easy little twist in the chair. I want you to face sideways on the chair. Remember, back, we're going to come to the very back edge of the chair. Front arm's going to come to this edge of the chair. Spine is tall. I'm going to slowly spin. Now remember, I'm spinning from my navel, trying to turn as much of my torso to the back of the chair. The last thing would be my head. And release. Let's go to the other side. Back arm, your eye. Front arm comes around. Get that torso tall line. Torso facing to the side. Begin to spin my ribs, my waist, my chest, my shoulders, and lastly the head looking to the back wall. And release. Let's take a little happy baby. So I'm just going to do in the chair, you just do one leg at a time, lifting that right leg. I might just hold the thigh. I might hold the shin. I might hold the ankle. I might reach to the outside of the foot. I try and take that knee to my armpit. Try to get the lower leg if possible. If this is fine, that's great. This, whatever you can. But if you can get this leg, lower leg, heel and knee in alignment, shin parallel with the floor, draw that leg back. Yay! We're in a little happy baby. Now maybe you want to straighten out that leg this morning to get a nice stretch through that hamstring, or maybe this is as far as you're going to go. And that's perfect. Because tomorrow you feel it. So I read it. Have to keep the balance. Here. 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 That heel up. Shin parallel with the floor. Knee working towards the armpit. Foot backs, toes spread. I'm a happy baby, happy camper. Rock side to side because I am a happy baby. And then maybe that nice extension just to say, oh, good morning, hamstring. With that moon salutation, you really open the hips and work those hamstrings. So this might feel pretty easy for you and just might feel just what you need. And release, lower that foot. So I'm going to ask you to move your knees to the right and turn your upper torso to the left. Let your head follow the movement of your arms and your shoulders. This is another easy move. Allow your body to relax on the back edge of the chair. You're letting go, winding down. Slowly come back to center. Now, if you are lying down, so your legs are going to go to the left this time, and maybe they'll drift down towards the mat, so that my head and shoulders can drift over to the right Surrender the weight to the mat. Center, little Apanasana. Bring those knees into the rib cage, holding the backs of the thighs. Rolling on my spine for a massage. Preparing my body for Shavasana. Maybe there's an extra little stretch that you want. Maybe you want to come up into a little bridge pose this morning. Just to feel that pelvis and hips to lift. Maybe that's good. Asana package this morning. Those of you on the net. Or maybe you're just ready to stretch out. Remember, if you do wear your glasses, remember when you do sleep, you take them off. So it might be just beneficial to take the glasses off or you should. Keeping your body warm, make sure that you stay warm because we have warmed up. I would advise you to replace any clothing or maybe cover yourself with a blanket. We are staying seated in our chairs. Our little Apanasana is to come forward and rock from side to side, or even with your hands on your legs. And then sliding back to the very back edge of the chair so that we're totally supported as we begin class. Sitting perfectly tall, resting our arms on our legs so the shoulders relax. Relaxing your jaw, closing your eyes. Allow the front body to rest on your back. Allow your attention to come to your breathing. For several rounds, just watch and feel the breath finding its own pace, its organic, true. Remember, almost 5 minutes, or even longer. Some days you might find that you just want to stay in Shavasana a little longer, allowing the mind and the body to be one. Finding that sense of awareness, setting your tone for the day. Remember, when you're ready to come out of the pose, start to move your fingers and toes, head move gently side to side. Inhaling a deep breath in. I like to do a full body stretch before I slowly start to come up or come off the floor or get off the chair. Taking my hands to my heart center. And Mr. B.K.S. Iyengar, wonderful lady, his definition of yoga is the cessations of the fluctuation of the mind. Not easy. Thank you for joining me this Monday. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. and I'll see you next time.